In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to add a speech bubble, and it differs slightly from the thought bubble because the thought bubble, we've got those individual bubbles we move around. With the speech bubble, we have a tail for the speech bubble that we need to move, and it changes slightly. Okay, so we're going to go to our shapes again, our custom shape tool. Now, if you haven't loaded the shapes, so what would happen is you'd see these. What you need to do, although there is a speech bubble there, I'm going to show you how to do the other speech bubbles. Click on the cog, move down to talk bubbles, and we click OK. And so for this one, we're gonna choose that one. It's a standard one. If you want to go with a different one, standardized, you can go with maybe the rectangle. Consider how you're going to go. Don't just randomly alternate just because you can. Have some thought to it and go, oh, I'm going to standardize on this and I'm going to move through using just this one. I'm going to use this one, this talk one. So I click on that. Now I'm going to draw this speech bubble in. Draw it roughly how the size you think you're going to need it for the text. It's going to be easier to do this. So it's roughly the right size to start with rather than doing lots of resizing afterwards. Okay. Now we need to add an edge to this, a line around it. So as soon as we've drawn it, we can go to Layer, Layer Style, and Stroke. So we make sure that we've got a black border, 5 pixels. So we can see this is our speech bubble. Now this one, it's not too bad. We could maybe stretch that out a little bit. But what if we wanted it this side? Now we wouldn't want it this side. The reason is the hand is there. So that's not ideal. But if we did, this is how we would go about it. So we'd put the speech bubble there. Again, as I say, get it roughly to the size you want for your text. Maybe add the text now so you know exactly the size you want it. In fact, let's do that. Let's add the text. So we click on T. I'm just going to say, "Hi friends, how are you?" Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to select all, Control A, and I'm going to center it. Check that it's Comic a Hand regular 7-point. Great, that's the right size. So I'm now going to pick this up and I'm going to resize this. So click Show Transform Tools in the Move tool, and we get this roughly how we want it. Let's zoom in. Okay, so we've got this speech bubble how we want it. Now we need to change this tail so it points the correct way towards his head. So we have the shape selected. We're going to select this direct selection tool. Make sure that you hold it down and make sure direct selection tool is selected. Now in here, so when we click on this shape, you'll see some various points pop up, less than the thought bubble had. Now this is the main one we're going to move. So we're going to select this and we're going to kind of guide it over here towards his mouth. Depending on how far you want it, have a think about that. Now, when you let go, it doesn't look right. There's something wrong. And what you're looking at is these little handles here, here, and here are to do with the curve, which way the curve's running. So first up, we need to move this round, and it's going to go up here and up here. Then this one over here is going to curve around, so it goes this way and this way, and you're just tweaking because we can curve it around a little bit. Okay, we unclick transform tool, and you can see that the curves now suit the angle it's going at. So I was using the handles to change the curve. So remember, that's direct selection tool, and as soon as you've got a point selected, you can change the way the curve moves around. Okay, so that's just something to know for any future. And these are vector curves. We're dealing with Bezier curves here, and so that's basically it. That's the way you do speech bubbles, and you change the way the speech bubble's pointing in Photoshop.